Well, chicken's bomb, as per usual. Sheesh. Anyways, I just had a moment of inspiration. I was actually watching a video of a gentleman who he said exactly a year ago from today, he actually was not in Christ. He was a believer, and then he had stepped away from the faith, and he got this overwhelming emotion and vision to come back, and how September he's seeing like a clock, and the Holy Spirit was just kind of speaking to him and ministering to him, and then on that video he beautifully was ministering to whoever was listening, to come to Christ. And it got me thinking, because it's like I make videos for chosen ones because I can sometimes feel isolated on this journey, because I'm like, man, I don't know if people see what God is allowing me to see. I don't know if people hear what's going on, as far as the ears to hear and the eyes to see and wisdom to understand like what's going on, and discernment, the serenity prayer, knowing the things I can't control and I can't, which is what I was pretty much chatting about in the last video. But it just got me thinking about how I don't want to just only speak to the chosen ones for those who maybe don't feel those emotions, or maybe are seeing for the first time, right, a video like this. If so, praise the Most High, man. I'm glad and I'm grateful that you're here. But yeah, man, it's amazing, because sometimes shame can keep you out of grace. Shame can keep you out of mercy and the light, and just God's hand, and not by doing of God, right? And I'll talk about that here, but just ourselves. Shame is just a scary cycle, man, where if for instance, like when you feel shame, you go to eating, and now you feel shame because you overeat, you're full, you're more than full, you're actually hurting, and you shame yourself for doing that to yourself. But then the moment that you no longer are feeling that pain, you're feeling a shame of weight gain, and then you go back into the thing that got you that weight gain, that got you to that point of feeling more than full. And then it's like the same thing that you're using to heal what's hurting is only hurting you more. That can be with corn addiction, that can be with various other things. It's like, for me, that's the one for me, where it's like it just keeps me in that loop, to where it's like, oh my God, I watched again, and now I'm feeling shame for watching. And now how do I deal with this shame? Well, it's a habit that I've built since I was 11 years old, so it just loops me right back in. It makes everything feel better for that moment. And the more aware that you are, the more that you're elevating on your walk as well too. That that's also a lie, right? It's not, you're not feeling good, you're just anesthetizing yourself. Or I think I said that right, anesthetizing yourself, pretty much just pumping anesthesia in you, morphine, serotonin, dopamine, norepinephrine, all these different things, all these feel-good chemicals that you're giving yourself, and it's burning your reward system, frying it. It's teaching you that this bad behavior is what you need to feel better and feel okay and feel good. But again, it's just a cycle, and everyone has their own way of dealing with that. But reality is until you let that go and start coming to Christ to be the one, to be the remedy, to be the light, to be the thing that makes you feel good and feel that peace and that serenity that you're looking for, that nirvana, you're going to just continue in that loop, and it's just going to further destroy you. And that literally is a depiction of what addiction looks like. Now, it just depends on what that thing is that you're addicted to, that you're using to deal with that shame, that will literally just have two radical pathways that you take. If for some people it's meth, you know what I mean? That's a bad one to get looped into. Anyways, this is wild. It's a cycle. It makes us irrational. We try to hide from the Almighty, right? The all-seeing God. It makes us shy away from God. Like, oh God, I know I did another one, so I smoked another joint. I was wrestling in the bed with another person, and I let them win. You know what I mean? Like you got these things that we go to, and we try to hide it from the all-seeing God. And it reminds us of who? Adam and Eve, right? They did the deed. They were in the garden, and it wasn't like Christ was asking. It wasn't like God, was asking, where are you? No, but heart posture wise, it's like, what's going on? Like, what? Like, I feel distant from you. I already know what you did. And who knows, maybe if they would have admitted it and not have lied, or if Adam didn't, try to push off or cast off the weight of what had happened based off of his leadership, because he was given the woman from his rib to have authority over her and to lead as he submitted to Christ, right? The natural order. Who knows? It might have been a different story. Instead, he kind of was like, well, it's this woman you gave me. And then again, it's like, shame makes you keep your eyes on yourself, but at the same time, the moment that it's time for you to embrace the responsibility of why you're even in this shame cycle, who's really perpetuating it, we try to find things to blame, right? We look outside of ourselves when really it's like, no, there's something within you. There's a sin that's within you that you have to kind of separate yourself from. It's not necessarily you who wants to do this. It's this sinful spirit, this nature, this carnality in us that wants what it wants. It's again, knowing that you can't break that stronghold. You can't break that chain that was maybe laced on you since you were a kid. Maybe you just have enough weight in whatever emotional experience that you've gone through that makes that chain super tight to where it's digging into your skin and you feel like it's one with you, right? But you separate yourself from that and just understand that, God sees you. He doesn't see the sin that you're dealing with, or if he does, he doesn't see it as one and the same, right? Which is why he gives us that authority and that power to step out of that and into his light, to walk after the spirit, not after the flesh. But yeah, shame will make you run away from the hug and run towards the hurt. People who you see, you try to bring the faith to, and they just resist it so much. I'm like, man, you're going back to those friends that are just perpetuating your darkness, and it's hurting you. You're not happy where you're at, but yet you surround yourself with people who confirm the bias, who confirm the lies, who confirm the whispers of the enemy, because they're under that delusion as well too. They're under attack as well too. But why do they say misery loves company? That's all Satan's trying to do, drag you down. He's trying to bring you with him. He already knows he lost the battle. He's like, I'm taking all y'all with me too, straight up. Yeah. And it makes us selfish. I was thinking about something that YouTuber said. I mean, actually put y'all on, because I've seen him put out a couple videos. His name is Gavin Dees. Gavin, Gavindees. He mentioned the prodigal son and how that was the embrace that he felt after a year of walking away from the faith, according to him, right? Doing heinous things and blaspheming God and just like creating blasphemous content. He's made a turnaround. Look how God received him, just like the prodigal son. God received you with a hug. He's like, oh my gosh, like, thank you for, in the time that I've given you, you've chosen at some point on your journey to see that I've been with you that entire time, that I will use all those things for good. Jeremiah 29:11. And you start walking in his light, and he sheds light on not just the darkness that you've been through, but he sheds light on the little crevices in those dark times where it's like, look, I was right there. Look right here. This is the lesson that you get from that. And hey, why don't you take these things, acknowledging that I was there, taking the light and the lesson and passing it on to somebody else who may be in that same season, in that same period, who may be struggling to find God or hear from God. Maybe they're so deep in their sin that they've separated themselves so far from God, where God's saying, hey, but you got this many layers, right, of fat to burn through before you start to see the muscle, before you start to actually see how God is flexing in your life, right? The more lean that you are, the more you can see muscle contractions. Anyways, I was thinking about, like, in my seasons as well, being the other prodigal son, and I still have remnants of this. I can very well be in this season. It's just now I'm really choosing to like focus on what Christ is trying to show me. But man, I was the other brother where it's like, how are you going to give him the fattened calf and the robe and the ring and all of that, and he's been out here sleeping with harlots? You know what I mean? Meanwhile, I've been over here abstaining from those things. I'm on my celibacy journey, and I'm doing the best that I can. And yeah, I got blemishes here and there, but it's like, yo, haven't I been with you the entire way through? It's in Luke 15:11-32. If anyone wants to go read that story, it's a beautiful story, man. But the father responds to that. He's just like, bro, chill, In Luke 15, verse 31 and 32. And he said unto him, son, thou art ever with me, and all that I have is thine. So basically, it's like, you've always been with me. You've been with me this entire time, and everything that is mine is yours, right? So again, it can blind you to the blessings that you have in your life. It can blind you to the fact that you have God in your life, right? When you maybe see someone who just starts stepping out of their sin and God is just like showing up heavy in their lives, and you may be going through a season that Job experienced, right? Where he doesn't know what's happening, but it's God really trying to show to Satan, like, look, you don't got my son or my daughter the way that you think you do. You can do all these things, just don't kill him, don't touch him. But you can do all these things, but I promise you they will still come to me. That's God really showing off to Satan, like, look at the faith I have. You can put him through everything, but he's still going to be that phoenix that rises out the ashes, or she's still going to be that how do you say a female phoenix? Same thing, right? I don't know. Correct me in the comments. You can put them through whatever, but they'll still know that I am here, that I am their source, right? That I am their beacon. Essentially going to be the one that, you know, lifts them up, and they're going to soar like eagles. Shame can make you selfish, and it can make you so focused on yourself that you don't realize, man, like you being with your father the entire time, you couldn't even see the blessings that you had. So many people might have been like, oh yeah, you know, well, that's just so and so, versus the one who has a very colorful past and then comes to Christ. It's like, whoa, like you're professing Christ? Oh man, there's got to be something about this thing, you know? So the more that you're in the muck and the mire, whoever's listening to this, man, like whatever crap that you've dealt with and that you've been through and that you're even dealing with right now, come to him dirty, man. Come to him all muddied up. Come to him blinded. Come to him, you know, still with thoughts of hell, Satan in your mind, etc., etc. Like, come to him and let him cleanse you. You know, stop trying to get that dirt behind your ears. You can't reach that. You know, stop trying to get your own back. You can't reach that, right? Let Christ do that for you, because he can see from an all-seeing perspective. So yeah, I think that's all I wanted to share. So anyways, love you guys. I'm about to go eat. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Happy Sabbath. And do all the YouTubey things, like, comment, subscribe. I would love to hear any feedback you guys have on this, any corrections, any adding to. I'm in there. I'm for that. All right. This comment section is going to be golden. Purification, baby. Peace.